What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to talk about Spider-Punk, and we are going to take a look at some gameplay of Spider-Punk. I'm also going to share some thoughts about this character and the team overall, because as it seems a lot of people are quite confused about what this team is supposed to do. Okay, so first let's start with Spider-Punk, and this guy is not very interesting. He's very bland. He doesn't have any special effects with his kit apart from his ultimate. His ultimate applies trauma for 2 turns to all enemies. Now, what's the purpose of this ability? Is this ability for some big brain strategy or something like this? No. The reason why we have this ability, it's because on the Doom 1 raid many people were struggling with the multiple Squirrel Girls and also the Jessica Jones that you were facing. The fact that they would remove all the negative effects that we would apply to them would make those raids extremely hard, and that's why this guy has this trauma effect. So the Squirrel Girls, the Jessica Jones, the Phyla-Vels, and even the Invisible Womans don't remove the negative effects from the enemy team. That's it. There is nothing special about this beyond that. It's just to prevent those characters, especially the Phyla-Vels on the Doom raid, the 2.0, especially there, to don't remove the negative effects, because if we lose the slow, if we lose the defense down, it's going to be a lot harder to defeat the enemies. The difference between defense down and not is 50% extra damage, so think about that. Also the slow, 50% more turn meter based on the character having slow or not. So it's very important that Jessica Jones, Squirrel Girl and Phyla-Vels do not remove the negative effects from the enemy team. So that's why we have trauma on this guy. Now, apart from that, his special only does damage, nothing special about his special, and his basic is just that, it's just basic. The passive is where things become a lot more interesting. Now, on dodge applies offense up to a Web Warrior character. This is not super relevant because OG Spider-Man already does this. So it's a little bit of overlapping, which is fine. It complements a little bit each other, especially because this team does not apply many negative effects. So a few characters like Miles and like this guy Spider-Punk, whenever they don't apply negative effects to the enemies, your team is losing because OG Spider-Man is not activating his passive. Now this guy Spider-Punk, his passive is actually very cool, and the reason why it's cool, it's because it makes this character to require 0 gear. If you activate the T4, and even without the T4, you plug and play this character on the Web Warriors team, everyone else gets the additional crit chance, and this guy does not require any gear there, because he's not gonna be touched. So on turn, the Web Warriors get evade from Scarlet Spider. So this guy at gear tier 12 is still going to survive. It's just crazy. Don't tell anyone. This is mind-blowing. So yeah, there is no purpose on gearing up this guy. Just activate his passive. The T4 is not great, it's not an amazing T4, but it's decent, an additional 10% crit chance. It will set your raiders at 70% crit chance, which is great, and it makes a huge difference, but once again, it requires 0 gear. Now, things that we need to talk about, and as I just mentioned, Scarlet Spider gives evade to 2 characters in raids. This increases the survivability of the characters by a lot, so you don't even have to put these guys at gear tier 15 if you have them with 4 or 5 yellow stars. The amount of evades that you get, plus the crit chance, plus the crit damage, will lower the necessity of having such a high gear tiers. Now, it's not the case for me because I'm not using Spider-Punk and because I have low yellow stars and low red stars, but for other people, they can take advantage of the mechanics of the team. Now, There was someone that said that OG Spider-Man is not necessary on this team, and I was like, what are you talking about? You clearly don't understand how this team works. OG Spider-Man is the most important character in this team, because whenever a negative effect is applied, you are going to get one of these buffs. Defense up, offense up, speed up and deflect. This increases the survivability of this team and the damage output by a lot. Additional damage, additional turn meter, and additional mitigation from the defense up and deflect. What are you talking about? On top of that, they also get 10% turn meter whenever they dodge, which they will a lot because of the evades from Scarlet Spider, the ones that he's going to apply to the team. Okay, so I hope that people are starting to understand how this team works. And finally, so the most important characters on this team is OG Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider, Ghost Spider, and then who else? I would say Punk, because once again he requires 0 gear and his passive is amazing. With Miles, I guess okay, I guess so yeah, not really required. If you want to make a hybrid team, you have two options, in my opinion. You have the OG Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider and Ghost Spider, plus Anti-Venom and Symbiote Spider-Man. Then you have another option, drop the Anti-Venom and put Spider-Punk. Now, who is this team for? This team is for the future of the game, where you'll be able to sim the raids. For people that have no time to play throughout the entire nodes, you just press auto and this team wins. If you are this type of person who doesn't have time to play because too much work or you have to take care of the kids or whatever, this team is going to be perfect for you. Use the 5 Web Warriors and we'll do just fine. Now, if this is not the case, then having a hybrid team with the symbiotes and Web Warriors, it's going to be a lot better. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, all the theory about the Web Warriors, let's take a look at some gameplay and see these guys in action, and you will see why this guy requires 0 gear. It's just amazing. Okay, so here we go, and we are doing the beta raid. We are doing the bio nodes on the beta raid, and as you can see, gear tier 12 on this guy and gear tier 11 on Miles, and that's just fine. They are going to work just fine. Okay, so I have a few nodes here. I don't have nodes on the Doom raid, and that's because I'm not going to gear up this character. Once again, I think he is usable together with the Symbiote Spider-Man, and you should drop Miles and keep him with the Young Avengers or whatever. Okay, so let's speed up this so we don't waste too much time. And as you guys saw, my Scarlet Spider, the Ghost Spider and the Spider-Punk, they have very low yellow stars, but as you can see, all of them have evade. Scarlet Spider once again applies these evades, 2 evades on turn, and whenever you apply negative effects to the enemies, OG Spider-Man is going to give you the defense up, deflects and other things that allow you to survive. Okay, so once again, we are using characters at gear tier 12 against the beta raids with the maximum difficulty, so 4.3, and these guys have like 600% additional stats, so they hit pretty hard. This is at the end of the raid, it's not at the beginning, so they hit pretty hard. Okay, so as you can see, they are just doing fine. Of course he does no damage, but the other characters, OG Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider and Ghost Spider on their own can do the damage that is necessary from the additional crit that he's providing to the team. So he's a character similar to Emma Frost. Like Emma Frost, she requires very little gear to do everything that she does, because the value comes from the kit and not from the stats. And the same goes for Spider-Punk. Like, he can do a lot of damage, but it's not required for him to do a lot of damage, because everyone else is benefiting from the additional crit chance that he provides to the team. Okay, so we are almost done in this node. Now I'm going to take a look at the next node, and then I want to finish off with my hybrid between Web Warriors and the Symbiotes. Now that I have one more yellow star on Scarlet Spider, just one yellow star, one additional yellow star made a huge difference. So let's speed up this even more. So whenever you apply one negative effect, that's enough to make the team go crazy with all those buffs. Okay, so they don't have many abilities against characters that dodge a lot, so like OG Spider-Man, like Vision, those characters can still be quite problematic, like Ghost on the Doom Rays as well, but as you can see, the damage is just insane, and even that Miles and Spider-Punk are literally not doing anything. The other characters, the main characters, the ones that actually matter, OG Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider and Ghost Spider, they are able to do all the work. Okay, so in terms of ISO weight, it's exactly what I said 2 months ago when this team was released, that you want to use a Raider on most of the characters except Miles. So use Miles Basic to remove positive effects from the enemy, and as you can see, he does just fine even at gear tier 11. Okay, so let's take a look at the next node. We have 2 more. Another thing is the positioning of the team. Make sure that you have Ghost Spider in one corner, and after that you have Miles. This will protect Ghost Spider and it will stop any chains going that way. Then you want OG Spider-Man in this side, Spider-Punk and Scarlet Spider. You can alternate between Scarlet Spider and Spider-Punk, but I think the team looks better like this. Okay, so as you can see, these guys are just demolishing the enemies, and these Black Panthers, like, they are dangerous. They could cause some trouble to us, but our crit damage is so high that they are getting completely destroyed, and whenever they try to do their abilities, we are going to dodge them. So this is how fast we beat these nodes in 1 minute. And once again, 2 of the characters are below gear tier 12. So yeah. Okay, so here Miles actually becomes useful. He stops Loki from doing his special. Then we have some big damage. I think here I use all abilities because it was the last node. And as you can see, like, OG Spider-Man is destroying everything. OG Spider-Man, he applies all the buffs to the team. He has his own drain, he has the stun, and the damage he does is just insane with this additional crit damage. Okay, so 5 enemies left. Let's see the big boom boom damage. Okay, let's see. I don't even use the ultimate, it's not necessary, but yeah, if you are using the full team, you get all that energy and the death proofs and so on, so it's like very easy to use this, and this is why I say this team is to use on sim raids. Okay, so there we go with that nice finishing off. Okay, so now let's take a look at my Web Warriors plus Symbiotes on Doom 2.3 against the boss node. Now I have a little bit more practice, I know which characters to focus on, and I have 1 additional yellow star on Scarlet Spider, and just that additional yellow star made a huge difference. Okay, so as you can see, now we have tons of bleeds. We are going to do some big damage there on Rescue to make sure that she doesn't clears the positive effects. We have the slow on Doom, so we are going to apply ability block and extend that for 2 turns. This is why you also want to use the Symbiote Spider-Man, because it can extend stuns and ability blocks. So Doom is on the yellow, now he's on the red, and it's fine because we still have 1 turn of ability block. And now we have Kestrel, and we have Sharon Carter, 2 characters that we have to deal with. With Coulson you have to pay attention, you don't want him to do the basic to you because that does turn rewind and it's annoying to get any turn rewinds. Sharon Carter trying to do some funny stuff, but she has no chance. Some big damage with OG Spider-Man, but here you can see that without Spider-Punk we don't have that big damage that we had on the other raid. That 30% additional crit chance makes a huge difference, makes the team a lot more consistent in terms of the damage output, but as you can see, they still do fine. But to perform at the same level as having the other crit chance, they require more yellow stars. Okay, so 8 enemies left, we have 1 minute and a half left, so we are doing pretty good for a team that has the Ghost Spider and the Scarlet Spider at 3 yellow stars, 3 red stars. I think that's pretty decent, so now we are going to spread all of that. We have 1 minute left, we are already on the last wave, 7 enemies left, and some of them are on their knees, so that's pretty good. And as you can see, like, Anti-Venom is not like the super best amazing option, but he's not terrible. He's able to clear the negative effects. He has his own evades, which is nice, and he's also able to provide some nice buffs to Symbiote Spider-Man, which is very important because otherwise he has no source of buffs. So yeah guys, that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Spider-Punk, does he make a difference to the team? Yes, he definitely makes a difference to the team, and as you guys saw, he doesn't even require gear, so you can have some fun with him without having to invest a lot of gear. Do you really need it for the Doom raids? Not exactly, but once again, he's going to be very helpful when you are facing the Squirrel Girls, the Jessica Jones and the Phyla-Vels that remove the negative effects from the enemy team. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you like the information on it, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I will catch you guys later.